everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV, where, of course, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby and the extensions of club rugby. Big thanks, of course, to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. You can win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show, so don't go away. Score, of course, on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. And, of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy down in the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Nice full show for you this evening. In a second or so, we're going to catch up with Rito Hlungwani, DHL Western Province Rugby forwards coach. And, of course, it's Women's Month, but we've been focusing on women's rugby for a very long time now, and we continue to do that. Tonight, we're going to speak to Azipele Manitsane. She is the administrator for the Western Province Rugby Women's YTC program. We'll also speak to Zoe Nodia, head coach of False Bay Rugby Football Club. And, of course, as you know, administration and education continues at Western Province Rugby, so we're going to find out a little bit more about some of the coaching courses that are coming up. We'll speak to Nazim Adams from Western Province Rugby, and of course the under-20s are kicking off this weekend with the Currie Cup, so we go behind the scenes as we do and catch up with some of the players. But on the line with me now, Rito Hlungwani, DHL Western Province Currie Cup forwards coach. Rito, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Thanks, JP. It's always nice to join you on the show.
Yeah, good to be catching up with you. We love catching up with you always because we know how closely connected you are to the clubs and how much work you've done with the clubs, and of course the fact that you have been hands-on at club level and the fact that you played for Western Province Rugby. So we've got a whole string of reasons of why we like catching up with you. But so Rita, one of the things that I wanted to ask you from a starting point is when we were trying to get our interview started this morning, you were having to wait for meetings to finish and etc. etc. I was kind of then wondering, and I'm sure that the fans are also wondering, what does the average day of a rugby player or coach look like when you wake up in the morning to the time that you go to sleep at the end of the day?
Yeah, look, JP, it's ongoing. You never stop. So what happens? We obviously get here early, and as a coach, you know, you want when the players arrive, at sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock. When the players arrive, you must be ready. You know, if there's a video session, you want to prepare, make sure the projector is connected, it's working, your computer, your presentation, and your videos are in place, so that when the guys sit down, there's no hassle between that. You know, you don't want to be fixing things. They want to come in, get the information. You ask them questions, they ask you questions, and then they move up to the next thing, which will probably be, you know, a gym session, you know, which will probably take about 45 minutes. When they finish the gym session, they'll have a contact skills session after that, where they go outside straight out after gym. And they'll train an aspect of the game. Might be breakdown, might be scrummaging, you know, it might be catch pass. After that, they'll have a refuel block where they sort of have a bit of food, just so that when we do the full session, you know, they've already refueled again.
So
you know, as you can hear,
the
there's some of them walking around now. Just excuse the noise, they're walking around now as well. So
we know that we're crossing to you at the moment to the High Performance Centre where the players are busy. Rita, so of course, I mean, it's a full day then. It's a full day of activity, and you mentioned that you start already as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. Do you do basic things like, do you have to have a roll call, or I mean, we know now with COVID, everybody has to sign a register. And that, but, I mean, you guys got quite a lot of different players. Do you check that everybody's there?
Not really, JP. At this stage, you know, the guys, it's like their job, it's their livelihood. You know, the only thing that comes in, they test, and we get straight into business. You know, when the video comes out, and you ask John or Sazi a question, you know, without having seen him early in the morning, you expect him to be there. You know. Yeah. But in a particular way, our players, you know, they've got good manners, so they'll always walk in and greet all the coaches, greet each other. So in that way, that's sort of our informal roll call. You know, it's not one of those, you know, Sazi, are you here and stuff like that. The boys come in, get straight to business, and then we'll move on to the next task.
So you've got to spend quite a lot of time preparing the venue for the players, making sure that you're ready for the first session. Then you actually spend time in the, call it the theory session, where you're discussing things and talking about the plans for the day. And then, of course, from there, you maybe go to the field and do things. Now, what about the administrative side from a management point of view? Do you guys then maybe tell the players, so you're meeting with the players on one side, but you guys as management also have a lot of work behind the scenes in your personal capacities, well, in individual skills, but also as a group.
Yeah, that's very true, JP. To give you an example of this week, we playing on Sunday after having played last week Saturday. So we had the Monday off, as a team, but with the coaches, we had a Zoom meeting Monday night so that we can prepare for the week, who's doing what meeting when, review meeting, have you watched this clip? A lot of things sort of correlate and interchange. Like I'll have a separate meeting with our tech coach just to discuss with him what lineouts we're doing. And after that Zoom meeting, when we arrive first thing the following day, before we prepare anything, we'll have a catch-up meeting just to decipher what we're planning to do for the day. And then after every session, before every session, actually, we'll have a preview meeting. What are you looking at? How do I intervene if something's not going right? And after the session, we'll have another management meeting to decide the things that we planned, the things that we wanted to see, did we see them? Where can we get better? So it's constant. The coaches are meeting all the time to discuss the plan going forward and, the things that we need to improve on.
It's a tremendous amount of admin. We of course had head coach John Dobson on the show with us last week, who was talking about some of the dynamics behind the scenes of coaching, and of course at the moment the interesting dynamics of the fixtures and schedules and that. But I would imagine if you have prepared your entire agenda around goal setting and review meetings and analysis meetings, that it could be quite disruptive if the schedule changes, maybe according to a health and safety protocol, or a traffic problem.
Yeah, look, JP, we always say we want to start with the end in mind when it comes to our planning, but we understand along the way the small changes that may happen that are beyond our control. And it's very similar to saying to a player, this is the starter move we're playing. When you get the ball, the space should be here. And those things change quickly in a rugby game. So the mindset of adapting is the same mindset that we view things as a coaching staff, because we coach that to players. That the picture that we give you at training is always almost never the same. So the mindset is we must be able to adapt, and everyone's aware of that. Traffic plays a huge factor. Sometimes the rain, it could be anything, a lot of things that are beyond our control. But the ability to adapt is quite crucial at this level. For me, I've learned that well coaching club level. You prepare for 20 players and then you get 8 in the evening.
Well, I've always said that coaching a club is much more difficult. I'd love to see how Jake White would have done coaching at a club level. The dynamics are very much different. There are no guarantees at club level. So I think, but I think that's maybe what gives you one of the edges, is that you've had that opportunity to coach at club level. You understand the dynamics of club rugby, and as you said, the things could change at the drop of a hat, and you never really know what you might get tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true, JP. I remember those nights at Primrose, at Villages. I've helped a bit at Belleville South. You plan for this and you get something else. And you got to think on the spot, what's the next plan I can do with less players?
On a final note then, Rito, good result for you guys on Saturday, playing at Newlands as well.
Yeah, look, we started that game badly, but, things didn't go according to plan. Just like our previous conversation, now we had to adapt at halftime, and we sort of tried to sort things out. And eventually came back with a win, which was quite crucial for us.
Rito, is the Currie Cup getting any tougher? I mean, the rugby season does seem to be quite dynamic at the moment. You got the British and Irish Lions tour and different structures. Season global fixtures are changing all the time at the moment. Is the Currie Cup getting harder every year?
Yeah, look, I'd like to say this year's Currie Cup is probably very different to previous Currie Cups, JP. You know, with COVID and all of that. Now there's a few games that haven't been played, and if you as a team have COVID cases and you forfeit the game, you lose points. So now you get a team like Greek was, you know, they haven't played 3-4 games. Now they got a maximum of 12 points. You get 4 points if the other team forfeits. The Sharks at one stage they played 0, but they had 12 points. So it's a different challenge. Western Province currently is the only team that has played all the games. And so it's just one of those things. It's a total different Currie Cup with different challenges. We're being stretched a bit, but we're having to adapt at the same time.
Yeah. Rita, we'll leave it at that. Again, thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on last week's win. Great achievement, especially seeing what you guys are doing there. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to pick out that the forwards are doing well. We'll just say well done together.
Thanks a lot, JP. Always good to join you here.
There we go, folks. DHL Western Province Currie Cup forwards coach Rito Hlungwani, of course, coming off a positive result on Saturday. We'll take an ad break. When we come back, we carry on talking about club rugby. Don't go away. Back in a sec.